evening. Good evening. It is time for Wellness Wednesday. I am your host, Tracy Berry McGee, also known as Divine T.
And I'm your co host, Yolanda Langford. And you know what they call me, Lady Yo.
That's right, Lady Yo. We're back.
We're back. I'm so happy to be back. I missed you on my Wednesday evenings and I missed our owners. And you know what, Tracy? I've heard they've missed us too.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have. But we have so many cool things that we'll be talking about. We have an amazing guest. We are back on Wednesdays. It's Wellness Wednesdays. We have a lot of little tea that we'll talk about coming up in the future. But right now, I'm just glad to be back. Everybody's in the chat. Tell us, hey, how you all doing? I know you all excited. I see some of our educators already tapping in. So that's what it's all about. I know it's the evening, so we got to ask everybody, what are they sipping on? What's in your cup? Put it in the chat. Lady O, what you sipping on? What's
You
in your
know what,
cup?
Tracy? I've already cooked and served dinner. So I've already had my dinner wine. So I'm going to sip on some good old STL water. Cheers, Shameen.
STL water. That's what it's all about.
And
Well,
what are you sipping on?
I'm just glad to see everybody's popping in the chat. I'm
Yes.
just loving this. I literally am, look at my new cup.
Black, no sugar, no cream. All right now.
That's right. That's right. Y'all know what's in my cup every single day. I love drinking my coffee black, no sugar, no cream. Everything is straight, but sometimes I can even put a little shot of tequila in it, and it's good. It's good.
It's good.
I
It's
see
good.
Stephanie is with us. She says she is sipping on mimosa. Look, we got Dr. Pepper in the house. Everybody's saying hey, and they're telling us what they're sipping on. Good evening, Gloria.
Yes.
Good evening. Good evening, Vanessa. Everybody, Vanessa's drinking some water. Not like that STL water, is it?
Absolutely. And it has been named one of the best waters.
Yeah, they
St.
got some.
Louis has some good water. I've tasted other water, and St. Louis, right out the tap, is good.
Well, we're talking about educators today, y'all. We're bringing the fire because there's something that's coming up in our city that is huge. And so I need you all to share and share and share some more because this brother that we have coming up today, he's got so much, like, when I think about education and I think about how important it is to have, and we've had him on the show before, male educators on every level. Like he has been a principal and administrator, and he's just doing it all. And they're bringing a program, not a program, a conference. This is, I think, the second or third year. I think that they've been doing this. I would definitely have to ask him about it, but Lady O, it's something about having male educators, isn't it?
It absolutely. And I have to tell you, Tracy, I didn't have my first black male educator until I was in college.
Wow, really?
Yes, really. Until my freshman year in college, and the only male educator I had was when I was in the seventh and eighth grade, and he was our principal and our seventh and eighth grade teacher. I went to a small school, so but the first time I had a someone who looked like me was 1984.
Wow.
And it
And
was just amazing. It was just amazing to have teachers who knew the history, who wanted you to know the history, and were passionate about you learning. So
that's it.
I can't wait to talk to Dr. Darryl Diggs.
That's Darryl Diggs, y'all. We're gonna dig deep with this one. We are. I agree as well. It's so important. Representation matters on every level. Our kids need to see it, and so that's why I love educational equity. That's what I believe in to the core. And so I did not have, well, until I'm trying to think. I believe my first it was in high school. No, my band teachers, the Bosman twins were my band teachers
The
in middle
Bosman
school.
twins.
I know, right? Right? We're catching up with the age and everything. But I like it that everybody is letting us know, like, when that clicked for them. Educators, like, of course, when you had your female teacher, but that male teacher was important as well. Vanessa said I had my first male educator in graduate school.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So that's something. It's something to see that we remember. It sticks for us. It
It
does.
does.
But it also matters when you come from a line of educators, and this brother does. I'm sure you all are going to find out more about him. But he started his career in education, y'all, as a middle school science teacher, transitioned to assistant principal. I want to say many, look, we like many years ago, you know.
And he's still young.
Yes, but he's a writer, and he's here to talk about all of the conferences that they got going on. It's a part of a nonprofit. Recently transitioned from a middle school building principal in the city of St. Charles to director of equity, teaching and learning with the special school district. When I tell you everybody needs to have equity, everybody, but he's got a
Absolutely.
message, and he's got to make sure that we all know what's coming up in our city. So we're gonna bring him right on up. Everybody in the house, just put in Diggs GGS because he is in the house. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. It's great to be here.
Good evening, and thank you for being here. You know, we're on fire about what you have coming up, and we want everyone else to catch the fire. But before we get started, we have to ask you, what's in your cup?
So my cup this evening is what I call hustle juice.
All right.
And very much like you, Miss McGee, it is straight black coffee. So my hustle juice every morning, very early, is that straight black coffee.
Hey, everybody put in the chat, hustle juice. I'm going to use that tomorrow morning. I'm going to give me some hustle juice. Hustle juice.
You know, I know I look at your bio and you're doing so much. You were also like getting up and doing your YouTube thing. Are you still doing that? Is it hard to get all that going?
So my YouTube career has taken a small transition. I'm starting to talk more about just teaching and learning, but also a little dose of inspiration in addition to that. When I first started that journey, I was just capturing my day-to-day as a building principal because I was brand new in the principalship and also going through COVID-19, right?
Yes.
Trying to restart school, bring the community back together. And so having all that going on, I felt I needed the space to capture all of that learning.
Got it.
So, you know, Tracy she knows you very well, and I've met you on occasion. Talk to us about the journey. Where did you start? Talk to us about what made you say yes to education and the journey that you've had.
Great question. It started for me through several bouts of changing my major at school. When I first graduated high school, went to Lindenwood University, and while I was there for that short year, changed my major twice. And then after that, another 3 times when I went to Flow Valley, then from Flow Valley to UMSL. And from there, I was just down on my luck, didn't know where my path would lead me. But my parents, my mom and dad, they always were faithful and gave me blessings and encouragement to just keep going, right? Let's not give up. Let's not pack it in. So one fateful evening, I was taking a class, and this is very disrespectful. I wouldn't encourage anyone to do this, but I was in class reading the newspaper while the teacher was teaching. Again, very disrespectful. And while I was reading the paper, in the classified section, they were looking for teachers to teach math and science in particular areas. And I applied and I accepted that opportunity on Christmas Eve. So that's how it started.
Wow, you birthed a whole new baby, and look at you now. That's phenomenal. And now you're recruiting. You're making sure that we get more educators out here. It makes a difference when your parents let you figure that journey out. I too was part of that cycle of just really trying to figure it out. I always knew I wanted to have something to do with education, but I knew I wanted to be a therapist and empower girls. But it's something that you said, something that's clicked for you, and you kept going. Now what's clicking is this SBE 23. This conference is coming up. I think I said it was the second or third year. I remember the first one, you all had books and everything, and it's blowing up. What year is this one?
So this will be the 4th annual State of Black Educators Symposium. So we have a journey that we've encapsulated, and so we're excited to be back in person on the campus of UMSL 2 Hill Theater. So I would encourage everyone to check it out.
Well, I think we have a video to kind of show. Let's see if this works. Y'all give me a thumbs up if y'all can hear it. Wait a minute. That said limited seating. Y'all better get y'all tickets. Wow. Heavy, heavy,
All
heavy,
right.
heavy. Lady, y'all, look at that. When I say that we got some heavy hitters coming in, but we have some here in St. Louis already. Like we got some people. Talk to us about what is this going to look like?
Thank you for that. And again, thank you for this opportunity and platform to speak to something that has been in the making, right? Like most ideas, they start through a conversation or maybe a doodle on a note card or a napkin. And that's the inception of this opportunity. So what people will be able to experience is very much like year one when we were in person, year 2020, right before the pandemic has swept through. But see, here's the thing: when you come in, you're going to experience a terrace full of individuals excited to just network, connect. There might be an opportunity for like on the spot interviews because that happened year one, right? And so what you would experience on the terrace floor are sponsors, vendors, other business opportunities for you to connect, dive deep. And at that same moment, if those, choose to jump in, there's a pre-symposium right before the main event that starts at 6. So what I would encourage everyone to do is, number one, grab your tickets, sbe23.com, and make sure you're there around 5 o'clock because I want you to see the full breadth of this opportunity. And then after that, let's slide right on in for this symposium that will start promptly at 6, led by none other than Dr. Karen Hall. And she's phenomenal as our MC.
Yes, yes, yes. My goodness, I have my ticket already, and I think that it's really cool if we, a lot of people like this is not expensive, but it's so worth it.
Absolutely.
It's so worth it. And then there's a lot of new educators. People are saying that there's a huge need, and there is. But speak to the value of a conference when you get all of this energy in one space.
Absolutely. And what people might not understand or know is that when we were in person year one, SBE 20, it was free. Hey, just come on in, come through. Like, let's just break bread and just be together, right? One of the greatest compliments that we received from year one was, hey, Diggs, Fields, he's, the other half of this amazing operation. They said this feels like a family reunion because it's not very often where you will be in the same place, connecting, rubbing elbows with other people of color, other educators that are championing, this work, right? And so that's what we're bringing back in when it comes to SBE 23 next week on the 3rd of February. We're bringing in that fire and that energy because this year, although each ticket costs $25, but look at the bill that you get to experience, right?
Yes.
How often will you be able to say that you were able to hear and drink from the cup of Ibram X. Kendi, right? Or Christopher Emdin? He's phenomenal. And then in addition to that, you have none other than Aaron Jones, who hails from Washington State. And that's right now here in St. Louis. Now, there's an opportunity on, day 2, the 4th of February, which we'll get into later. But here's the opportunity for us to learn. Here's the thing. A good friend of mine, he always says, iron sharpens iron, right?
Yes.
Come get that iron sharpened.
Yes.
Come get it.
Yes.
It's there for the taking. And I think
Yes.
that when people think about education, they sometimes don't think about the educators.
Yes.
They think about the education as far as the kids are concerned, but it's important that our educators get educated.
Yeah.
And that they share the gems that they know, because it's not a reinvention of the wheel. It's just, let's talk about it and learn from people who have stood in those shoes and who are willing to give you that information. And I just know it's going to be dynamic. It's going to just be on fire.
Yeah, yeah. You have a lot of great sponsors that are working with you all to make sure that this is put on right. Because at the end of the day, St. Louis, we have so many different huge school districts.
Yes,
so the need is plentiful, but the key is oftentimes we can't leave to get these resources. And you all brought them all here in one space, and you don't even have to take off work.
Yes.
Because it's in the evening.
Let me say this. You don't have to be an educator to attend.
You're
I think when people hear educator, they say, oh, well, I'm not a teacher. Is that something for me? There's something there for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree. And if I could just add on, to that, because you're spot on. Here's the thing. The title is the State of Black Educator Symposium. You don't have to be an educator to be a part of this amazing movement. You don't have to be Black to be a part of this amazing movement. But here's the thing. Everyone that's in the room is deeply impactful and has a responsibility to change the game, right? We have amazing school districts in our side of the state, right, of Missouri, St. Louis, but we can be better,
Yes.
right? We can be better. And so my charge for everyone is, one, again, grab your ticket now, make sure you have a seat, and just, again, sip from the cup of wealth when it comes to knowledge that will be given and also knowledge that will be gained.
I like that. He said, sip from that cup. You know,
Yes.
I love the fact that you all are doing this, and it is like bringing everybody together. Talk to us about edu openings.
Mhm. Thank you. So, EDU openings was again another idea. My brother from another mother, him and I were having conversations about, hey, what can we do to kind of change the narrative, right? Because we were finding that again, there's not many Black male educators in the space. There's also vacancies, across the country. In addition to here in St. Louis, what can we do to impact, that piece? And so what we were able to do, along with some developers and our smaller team, is to create a web app, right? A web
Wow.
platform, as well as a mobile app for your smart device to find jobs, recruit people, and then also promote what's open across various platforms all over. It doesn't matter if it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google ads, we're always promoting jobs. But what's even more impactful is that people by in droves have been finding jobs, landing opportunities, and what we have done, which again, I give kudos to my business partner, is that we have turned the game around so hard that HR departments are now recruiters. They're finding people, and you can
Yes.
do it from the comfort of your smart device.
Now,
Wow.
you talked about jobs. Talk to us about flipped job fair.
Mhm. Good deal. So here's the thing, a lot of us have been to job fairs where they're in a gymnasium somewhere, tables all over the place for organizations who are hiring, but there's always that one, two, or three organizations with the longest line, right?
Right.
And you can't, get your face in the space because like you just can't connect, and it's really impersonal, right? So what we were able to do is that we just like flipped it on its head, again, flipped to where those that are at the table are those who are being sought after by the companies. So, for example, if one of you were looking for a job, like, hey, let's get you set up to where people are lining up to see you instead
Yes.
of the other way around.
I like
Yes.
that.
Yes, yes. I look, let me tell you, your partner in crime is here in the chat blowing it up. Howard, thank you for giving us the information. People need to make sure that they get it. If y'all don't know anything about these brothers, I love how you all come together and you built something that we all need as a community. Anytime that I go to other states as a speaker, I make sure that they're aware. And the moment I mention them, I love that they're like, yeah, we already know this
Yes.
is what it's all about. We know about these brothers that are doing the work, and that's important. But I also love that you're bringing the brothers here. So how were they on here? But he giving us exclusive. He says, "Who will you be interviewing?" Talk to us about that.
I
So,
love
so,
an
so
exclusive.
Fields, yeah. So Fields is the best. So I have an amazing opportunity to be able to sit down and have a conversation with some very pointed questions to just further, our landscape of education, right? And to be able to do that with none other than Professor Ibram X. Kendi is a gift in and of itself,
Yes.
right? And how often are you able to break bread with your leaders, right? Those that you look up to, those that you look forward to be with. And so I get a chance to do that, and we're gonna play that piece at the symposium. So you do not want to miss that.
While we're talking, I want to know, was there an educator that made the difference in your life?
For me, I would say was Mr. Barnes. He was my human anatomy physiology teacher at Hazelwood Central, and what changed the game for me by being in his classroom is that he took no stuff. He always wanted 100%, if not 120% on all work. Everything had to be like in the lines. And so he impressed upon me at a very early age in his classroom that everything I did needed to be at a top notch, right? It needed to be at a very high level. So he was the one for me that changed the game.
Well, you
Thank you
know
for
what?
answering.
I know that you all are changing the game because you're doing the work. And I understand why you can't do the YouTube videos because you're out here doing the work. And you all are doing the work together. And we appreciate that. We appreciate that you make sure that it's also inclusive. Like you said, everybody can come to the table, but you got to be able to want to eat and make a change. I
Yes.
know for a fact that for me, even educational equity for girls, you know how I feel about that, how
Mhm.
important that is. And we still have some school districts here in our own city that don't realize that. And so
Yes.
we as a community, we got work to do. We got a
Mhm.
lot of work to do. So when we can come together collectively and bring these powerhouses and have these conversations, but actually put some things in place, some
Yes.
Mhm.
action, that's
Mhm.
what it's all about.
And
Um,
Tracy, he brought
yes,
it right here to St. Louis. This brother is world renowned, and he could have went anywhere else, but he said, "I want to bring this home because I want our community to be stronger through education." So I
that's
appreciate you
right.
guys.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I
Y'all
appreciate both of you. And if I may, I would be committing educational malpractice if I didn't just like outwardly say to everyone that we're standing on the shoulders of giants,
yes,
right?
we
Like
are.
there have been very impactful Black male educators, in our city for years that have done, a lot of work in the background, right? And if it wasn't for them opening the door for Fields and I to run through, then
Yes.
we wouldn't be here today. And so like when I think back to those in my own family who are educators and what they have done in the field, I'm here because of them. The educators in St. Louis have made this possible, for us to do these pieces, right? And so in Fields and I, we talk about this, often, to where it's like, all right, at some point, our children, right, are going to have to, make a decision. Do we continue or do we do we pivot? How can we, continue this legacy of just trying to be change agents? And so that's kind of like what drives me right now, in addition to, black coffee. When I,
Hustle juice.
yeah, my hustle juice. When I think about my sons, Trace and Tyson, I want them to be able to look back on this time and say, like, you know what, my dad, did it. I could do it too.
Yes,
That's it. That's it.
absolutely.
But speaking of all the things you're doing, catching lightning, talk to us about how can they get in touch with you? Because you're doing some amazing work, and we want to make sure that everybody can get in touch with you and get in touch with Howard. They can get in touch with all of you, or how can they get in touch with you?
For sure. So my website is achievementforall.com. That's where I do a little bit of blogging, some light, comedic pieces. To catch, this symposium, I would say go to www.sbe23.com. That's where you can find your tickets. If you want to just reach out, for speaking engagements or for us to do some PD, with your group, school district, organization, reach out to us. That's us at bmestl.com. That would be the best way to connect. And
That's
let's
cool.
keep talking. Let's keep growing.
That's cool. But wait a minute. So, I put it in the chat earlier, and I want to make sure that people know. I know Howard said y'all got some special guests, but you all also, in addition to Friday, which I have my ticket on my ad, the third, you all also have some things that are happening on the fourth.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, ma'am. So on the 4th, we call that Saturday morning learning. And it's an opportunity for us to again bring people to the floor to again learn, grow, and to just be a part of some cutting edge conversations, but it's
Mhm.
workshop style. So for example, none other than my very own, like one of my top favorite speakers, Principal Kafele. He will be
Yes.
here on
Right.
February 4th at MICDS. We're going to be together again. It's early, so we'll feed you breakfast. And then after Principal Kafele opens it up, then we're going to break out into some workshops. So Doug Reeves, he'll be there. I'll be there running a session, as well as Megan Swartzky. She's going to run a session. And again, it's all about just elevating the game, sharpening that tool, growing and learning. and we're going to do that workshop style on the 4th of February.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, so
So,
much to digest, so much to digest. But I'll tell you
yes,
what, if you go, you will be full and you will be able to say you ate at the table of educators and now you can go feed our community. So thank
yes.
you
I love
so
that.
much. Thank
I
you.
love that. Opening keynote on that date, Principal Kafele, being equity, the topic of education is so important. Megan, engaging our learners from students to adults, engaging learners to ensure everyone has a space for learning. And our own Darryl Diggs, Dr. Darryl Diggs, allow me to
Our own.
reintroduce myself, exploring the contemporary works of Sean Carter to decode bias by the U.S. I think that if you all don't understand the value of, sometimes people say that their schools don't have the funding. Look, you better invest in yourself, buy your own ticket, okay? That's what you need to do. That's what you need to
Mhm.
do. And you better make sure that you're there on Friday night.
Right.
And if you coming by yourself, shame on you. You should buy the ticket and bring somebody with you, because we
Mhm.
need to make sure that we have these resources out here and continue to do what we need to do. So we appreciate that. Look, everybody's putting in there. Look, because he's so humble. Get his
Yes.
book. Quit talking. Look, Darryl, don't play with us. Now, why your mama got to come out here and tell us? You better tell them.
She's the
Have
best.
y'all.
Mom's is the best. Mom's is the best. So you mentioned earlier about my short vlogging, creating these little YouTube videos, and so all of those YouTube videos came from a journal that I was keeping during my principalship, during the restart of school, and during COVID. And so what I did is that I took all of that information and I made it into a book called The Open Water, and it specifically discusses perspective and community and how those two pieces intersect. And then the next year, I was able to create a journal that runs along separate, which is called
Okay.
Catching Lightning. So I have two works that are out there.
The open waters and catching lightning. All right now.
Everything is, I love it that everyone is in the comment section. They're making sure you all have all the information. You all continue to get these resources. Make sure that they know again, when does this all go down?
So you need to not only get your ticket, but somebody else's ticket, and then gift a ticket to someone else. February 3rd on the campus of UMSL, Two Hill Theater. All right. Be there, be in the place. You'll be able to hear, learn, grasp from the best in the business, right? Because we have brought them here to St. Louis. There's an interview that I'm giving with Ibram X. Kendi. We're going to play that thing. It's going to be live. Also, we're going to have Christopher Emden. He's phenomenal, as well as Aaron Jones. She's incredible. She's going to kill it. I'm going to be honest with you. I bought like a bunch of books to make sure that I get them all signed, right? From all of these
Mhm.
phenomenal people. Again, that's February 3rd. The next day, which is February 4th, is Saturday morning learning. And we're going to learn workshop style.
I like
So
That's
don't
it.
miss out. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Our email address is us@bmestl.com.
You can find all of that on the website. The links will be down below. We like everybody to drop their affirmation words. A lot of people are doing an affirmation word of the year. And we always do an affirmation word for the week. We know you got a lot coming up, and y'all had a snow day. So, look, I'm glad we got that snow day stuff out of the way this week. So, we'll be ready next week.
it. Yes.
What is your affirmation word?
My affirmation word is more of a statement, and it's know your value. And the reason why I say know your value is because all of us have more gifts than challenges. And with the value that each of you have in the space, next week is an opportunity to add to your value, for you to add to somebody else's value. And so as I've been in many spaces of education, leadership, administration, it's always been in my heart to pour into others. And so make this your opportunity to pour into someone else. It's all about value.
It's all about value. We got to know our worth. And that's one of the things that we know for sure is that when you have Black educators in a space, they're going to make sure that you know your worth. Lady O, everybody's dropping their affirmation words. Y'all start dropping your affirmation words in the chat. Like, I'm ready. I'm like ready to get up and go right now. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. We got time. Y'all, I noticed that it said limited seating. Y'all know how Two Hill is. You know it.
Correct.
And so you better make sure that you get there, and parking's gonna be great. And That's what it's all about. How is it? Pass the collection plate. All right. What is your affirmation word, Lady O?
As I look into the camera at Darryl, he just gives me hope.
Yes. Yes. I know, right? I know, right? And time is short. Time is short. You just
Yep.
had a birthday, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
And so you can see that, as we evolve, everybody's evolving. I think that's gonna be my word. We keep giving, we keep reaching back
Mhm.
and making sure that we take care of our
Yes.
community. And that's what these brothers do. And they do it together. They're so humble. Like that's it. That's it. We can't do it alone. We got to do it together.
Correct.
This is not
Together
just
we're stronger.
a local thing. This is a global thing that we need to take care of when it comes to our community. So we definitely appreciate that. Um, you all need to understand that we're going to be on every day. No, we're not. Every Wednesday. Every Wednesday. We'll be coming with Wellness Wednesday just in case you guys have something great that's happening in the community. Lady O, we keep having stuff happening. I saw your new girl. You got a new website out there.
I
Tell everybody about some of
do.
the things that you're doing.
Well, I'm excited to announce that I launched my website finally. Thank you, Sylvester Chisholm, for supporting me in that. And people can book me to be an MC, a presenter, or a keynote speaker at yolandalangford.com. That's just me. And I am booked to be the MC for St. Jude on February 11th, for Becoming on March 8th. And I just got another invitation to be a presenter and MC for the D-Back Foundation, D-Bake Foundation, D-Bake
All
Foundation.
right.
So, within a day, it started to accumulate. So I'm excited for this next venture. And I'm excited for the things you're doing too, Tracy. Tell them all about Tracy Berry McGee.
Look, I'm just excited that I'm allowed to walk in my purpose.
Yes.
Tomorrow, we're gonna start just with tomorrow. So tomorrow, I know that you all have heard of Tom Joyner and Sybil Wilkes, and I will be on Sybil Wilkes' talk show on Facebook Live and YouTube, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with mental wellness advocate April Russell. And so I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
I know we have all the educators in the house. I am still working with Innovative School Summit. I'll be in New York. In February. So you can always go there for all the information. And we're going to keep putting all that information out there.
Yes.
We all we got. We got to take care of ourselves, and we got to make sure we take care of our community. And that means everybody,
Everybody, yes, indeed.
everybody.
And when you see Tracy, and if you see myself, and you see Darryl, come up and say hello to us, and let us know the things that you're thinking about, or if we can share some information, some resources with you. That's what we're here for. So come say hello, support Darryl Diggs. He is the Dr. Darryl Diggs Jr., and he is bringing it to St. Louis.
He sure
Him and
is.
how it feels.
Yes. So I just want you all to understand that you got to know your value, because when you know your value, then you understand that we all have value. And that's what it looks like when we're able to evolve and understand that education is key. When you educate yourself as well as educating others, and you're walking in your purpose. We need to be connectors. We need to spread the word. And we need to understand when we spread the word, our children excel because they're able to focus, knowing that we have the educators that are doing the work together. So hopefully we can continue to spread the joy and make sure that everybody understand that when we have all of us come together, we're going to be all right, because that's what hope is all about. I know that this is going to be a powerful conference. So I do hope that you all continue to share the link. We will see you all next week. Boy, we got a great guest next week, don't we? We got a
Yes.
great guest lined up. So you all have to stay connected to everything we do. We hope that you're following us. We're hoping that you're sharing. You can always go back and look at everything on Facebook
Yes.
and YouTube. Lady
So,
O,
Tracy, I want to say this. If you're out there and you've seen the show, Tell your friends to follow us. We're almost at 8,500 followers. We're just a little bit away from that. So help us out this week. Tell your friends, go follow the Own You Now show. Promise them that they will get something out of this show, positive, and some knowledge and some resources.
That's right, y'all. So keep sipping, and we will see you all next Wednesday, next Wellness Wednesday. Keep sipping, y'all.
All righty.
I am unstoppable. Let me hear you say, I am